Hello, everyone. Welcome to Communication 101, Oral Communication. This is, of course, the online version of this course. My name is Dr. Joe Hassert, and I will be your professor throughout this semester. The purpose of this first video is to give you a brief introduction to who I am, and then lastly, to give you some quick tips as we look ahead towards the rest of the semester, some quick tips that will hopefully help improve your success in this course. So to tell you a little bit about myself, as I said, my name is Dr. Joe Hassert, and I grew up and was born in northern Illinois, just outside of Chicago, in a little town called Romeoville, and that's where I lived for the first 18 years of my life and graduated high school. From there, I went to Joliet Junior College in Joliet, Illinois, and then transferred to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois, a really small town in a rural part of Illinois. And I stayed there for quite a bit and achieved 3 degrees. I actually have a bachelor's degree in speech communication, a master's degree in speech communication, and then I have my doctorate as well, also in speech communication. So I am prepared to teach and talk about and guide you through the subject matter in this class. In fact, I've been teaching some version of this class since about 2006. I've taught all other communication courses as well. I teach a Survey of Communication Studies course that takes a broad look at the discipline of communication studies. I have taught group communication, which focuses mostly on teamwork and problem solving, interpersonal communication, which looks at relationship communication primarily, as well as several different performance classes, such as performance of literature and performance of poetry. And those performance classes do inform my teaching of public speaking. So I just want to let you know that you're in decent hands here, that I am definitely prepared to teach and guide you through this course. So I had my first full-time teaching job after graduate school at Bloomsburg University of Pennsylvania, and I taught there for a few years until I had an opportunity to interview for a job here in Las Vegas, and I've been teaching here at CSN now for about 5 years. So I'm very happy to be in Las Vegas, very happy to be teaching for CSN, and I'm very happy to have you in this course with me. So that's enough about me for now. I will find a way to talk more about myself later, I'm sure. But for now, let me give you some tips on how you can hopefully become more successful in this course. Just some things to kind of orient you to the course as we're getting started here. So my first tip for you to have success in this course would be to make sure that you are going through the modules and spending the appropriate amount of time on each of the items. And in particular, make sure that you watch the lectures, the video lectures for this course from the beginning all the way through to the end. Treat this similar to attending class in a face-to-face class. You wouldn't want to miss the lectures for your face-to-face classes. You don't want to miss the video lectures for this online class. I will be talking quite a bit about the textbook and the readings that you'll be doing throughout the semester, and the readings of the textbook along with my discussion of those readings will help you with the quizzes that you'll be taking and the final exam at the end of the semester. So that's one reason you want to pay attention to video lectures. Additionally, I will be talking about not just the content from the textbooks, but also I'll talk about the content from the textbook in relationship to the assignments that I'll be having you do in this course. So in the video lectures, you'll often get very specific instructions and expectations for the particular assignments that we'll be doing in the course. The videos will include face-to-face videos like this one, as well as videos showing the desktop of my computer, some type of presentation software, or some type of Word document that I will then discuss. Another reason I want you to make sure that you watch the entire videos is that way we can respect each other's time. Since this is an online course, you have a lot of flexibility in terms of when you get to watch the videos. And so it's my expectation that you'll find the time to do that, and that way you won't end up asking me questions about things that I have covered in the videos. So hopefully we can avoid too many emails where I have to address things that I've already talked about in the videos. So let's try to value and respect each other's time in this course. And a good thing about the video lectures is, in addition to being able to watch them when you have time, you can always pause them, you can rewind, you can rewatch them, which is something you can't do in a face-to-face class. So that's my first tip for you. Make sure that you are following through on all the items in the modules, and especially are giving your time to the video lectures. A second tip for you would be to stay on top of the due dates. The due dates are listed on the course calendar, which you can find in this first module here. You can also, of course, see due dates on Canvas itself, as all the assignments have due dates set for them. So pay attention to due dates in the calendar as well as due dates as they appear on Canvas. I do not intend to accept late work or give extensions for anything. Again, you have a lot of flexibility, so just make sure you're staying on top of all of the assignments and paying close attention to the due dates. And you can do that by, of course, paying attention to the course calendar document that I have provided, as well as by logging onto Canvas regularly. So stay on top of due dates. A third tip for the course would be for you to pay particular attention to the rules for recording your speeches. There are very clear set of rules that you'll need to follow when recording and submitting the speech assignments for the course, and I don't want you to get tripped up on those rules. Those are listed in the syllabus, and they'll be talked about more extensively in an upcoming video. But for now, I just wanted to point out one of the rules that everybody should be aware of, because when you signed up for this course, it gave you a notification indicating that you were going to have to have an audience of 9 people for each of your speeches when you record your speech videos. So I just wanted to reiterate that that rule is a mandatory rule, and that there will be no leeway when it comes to that rule. So you can't have 7 people in your audience. It has to be 9 people in your audience. Now, I'll talk in more detail about all the rules about speeches at a later date, as well as I'll tell you a little bit about some tips for gathering an audience. We'll also have an opportunity potentially to gather together with your classmates and help each other meet that audience requirement. But you should know about that now. That is a mandatory rule in this course. And I just want to take a moment to explain why that is. This wasn't a rule that I made up. This is actually a rule that came from the Department of Communication here at the College of Southern Nevada. When we wanted to move our public speaking classes online, we came up with this agreement with the College of Southern Nevada that we would still have our online public speaking students have the experience of actually speaking before an audience. And since the smallest face-to-face classroom is about 10 students, the smallest audience that a public speaking student would speak to in a face-to-face class is about 9 people. So that's where that number of a 9-person audience came from. So I just wanted to explain that to you and make sure that you understood that, and if that you feel like this is something that's going to be so cumbersome that you don't think you're going to be able to gather your own audience, then you might consider dropping this course. And of course, you can enroll in one of our face-to-face classes, which comes with an audience of classmates already there. So just know about the rules for recording your speeches and submitting your speeches, and in particular be aware of the 9-person audience rule. I'll talk again more about this and the other rules at a later date. The last tip that I want to leave you with before we move on with the course is to encourage you to post questions that you have about the course to a discussion board that I have created that is called Common Course Questions. So if you have a question about a speech assignment, that might be a question that another student could possibly have, post it to the discussion board, and you can find these discussion boards on the bar on the left-hand side of your Canvas page, and follow it to the tab that says Discussion, and then click Common Course Questions, and post a question there if it is a question about common matters that relate to the course. If you have a personal question or a private question, you can always message me directly through Canvas and email, but I would prefer to try to keep that to a minimum. And if you have a question that's likely another student would have that question, go ahead and post it into the Common Course Questions section on the discussion board. So those are my tips. Make sure you follow along with the modules, watch the lectures, stay on top of due dates, understand the rules for recording and submitting your speeches, and ask questions that you have to the discussion board, Common Course Questions. So I'm looking forward to this semester, and I sure hope that you are, and we'll be seeing and hearing more from each other later on. Have a good day.